Okay, we are recording. All right, you guys, welcome to this call. We are super excited. We have Kelsey here with us today. So Kelsey I've been working with Kelsey for ever. It seems like forever. She's been helping me with Instagram and learning how to build the following for your actual ideal person, not just a following or people that don't resonate with you. And she has an actual Instagram course as well as a group if you guys want to learn more tips and stuff. That recently you just changed the name of the group, but we can link that for them if they want to be a part of that group. But yeah, this is Kelsey. She's the Instagram guru helping us out. So we want to bring her on to share all things Instagram with you guys to help you build your businesses. You ready to take it away, Kelsey?
I'm ready. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for letting me join in and just get to know you guys and share what I know. A little bit about what I do is I run Instagram accounts, and about a third of my clients are Beachbody coaches. So this is kind of my niche, and I, have an understanding of what you guys do. So this is all coming from a perspective of having worked in the Beachbody world, have taken some of Shailene's business courses, not her Instagram course, but I definitely am aware of exactly how you are approaching this. And so something Lindsay and I, chatted about this morning is one thing I love that Beachbody coaches do well is you guys develop your customer avatar. You know exactly who you're speaking to when you're building your team. And I think you guys do a great job with that. Where the missing link sometimes comes with Instagram is who your girl is, but you're still targeting your follower like any other random follower, and it's got to get more refined than that. We've got to think through, where is your girl hanging out on Instagram? So, two examples in this group are Lindsay. We really honed in on, and we got down to, we loved PCOS girl. They've gone through similar journeys. Her Instagram handle is PCOS support girl. Christina, we really honed in on the Pure Barre audience because she's a fitness instructor. So it's not just who your girl is, it's where they're hanging out. And I think that's really important. An example I gave to Lindsay today was, I have a fashion component of my Instagram, and I could target every fashion blogger out there, but that's not really realistic for me because half of those fashion bloggers are posting like Dior and Gucci, and I'm here in woolly thread sweaters. Like, they're following that girl who's posting in high fashion to get high fashion content, and I'm never going to deliver that. And so really thinking through where they're hanging out. Not only are they talking about topics that you're talking about, but is their voice like yours, the way they talk about their topic? Are you more edgy and like to throw in some cuss words in your post and kind of take this badass approach? Well, don't go towards like the very clean cut, girl that's goody two shoes. That's just not going to work. Are you, funny? Like, find some other funny people in this space that are like you. You want their voice to be similar to yours. You want them to kind of look like you. Like, is their audience following that girl because they're like you? Because if so, when you target their followers, you're going to gain the right kind of people. And one thing I love to say, and it's kind of a common line of thought, but profitability is much more important than popularity. And we all know that when it comes to like building a team, but we don't always apply that to, our Instagram strategy. Followers that are just numbers are totally fluff because you want your followers to convert. So while it might be nice to hit the 50,000 mark, it's better to have 500 relevant followers that are your ideal girl than 50,000 fluffy numbers, and so really hone in. I challenge you guys to write down 5 or 10 accounts One thing Lindsay and I chatted about this morning was studying those accounts. I do it. We all do that. I know that one thing we get really hung up on is creating compelling captions that really feel like they capture you, that feel like they get the essence of your team that you're building. And what I like to do is I like to study other brands. If I have 5 different kind of niches of my brand, I study, segments. I study one girl who does, fitness from the stance of being a mother. I might study one girl who talks about fitness from the stance of leaving her corporate career to build a team. You might have different facets of your Beachbody team, and it's okay. But I would start creating posts that capture every facet of that. One thing Christina and I do together is, we have call to actions on each post. She shares a lot of her story of leaving her 9 to 5 in, I think, 2010. You correct me if I'm wrong, Christina. But then she also talks about being a mom, and that's okay to have multiple different approaches, because you're going to be attracting different people who might get into your industry for a variety of reasons, just like you guys do this for a variety of reasons. One of you might be motivated by the freedom this career gives you, but you also might be making 4 times what you made at your day job last year that you quit. So it's okay to talk about both of those components. And I like to study what my competitors are doing. I'm not saying go rip off their posts, but when you have writer's block, because we all do, go study, go see what other people are doing, because it will jog your brain. Also, one thing I like to do is I create kind of a checklist, and I think Lindsay and Christina are putting this together. But one thing I like to do is put together a checklist of captions to jog my memory. What am I talking about to my best friends? Because often they get the unfiltered, like what I'm most passionate about at that moment. And so I start writing these down, because I say, okay, I love that Beachbody gives me the freedom to be at home with my kids and also run a business. And so you could write that down, and on a day when you have nothing left to give the world, you can talk about your freedom. Another thing you could say, I love that, I didn't have to start a brick and mortar business to have my own company. I got to have tools put in my hand, and a foundation was already set for me. So kind of, a list of your top 5 rants is what some people like to call it, like what you go on and on about. I know that, my best friends know that I love Instagram, because 13, 14 months ago, I was working a day job, and now I make 4 times that, and I would have never had enough promotions to ever be making what I'm making now versus this time last year. And so they hear me talk about that a lot, so I should probably start weaving that into my posts. So kind of have your niches. I saw one person write about Jenna Kutcher. Captions that convert. She has a great concept of having your top 5, or she calls it the Jenna Kutcher 5, or your top 8, top 10 parts of your business. Write them down. So for me, I wrote down recently that the 6 parts of Kelsey that should feel true to me and should be represented in my feed are travel, beauty counter, business, fashion, self-awareness, and the Enneagram, which is a personality type. So for you, write down the 5, 10 things that encompass you. So that could be you're a mom, that could be you work from home with this business. I know a lot of you guys are trained to not say you're a Beachbody coach, but I'm a fitness instructor that works from home. Whatever. You're a mom, you get to work from home, you love fitness, you love clean eating, like have your, top 5, and that will also jog your memory of what to post. So every 5th post should be something involving Shakeology. And you don't call it Shakeology, but you have a really cute photo of you drinking it, or it's staged on the counter, or it's staged by your desk with your laptop, and you write a great post about working from home and feeling energized. And then every fifth post talks about, your fitness regimen that you squeeze in just 30 minutes a day. Then the next fifth post talks about you love that you're a mom and you have the freedom to be with your kids, or you're still working a day job, but you're making all this extra money with your side hustle. However you want to phrase it, have your top 5 to 10 things that are your structure of your Instagram feed and regularly post about them, because your followers should be able to understand what you do at first glance. One thing I like to say when you're gaining new followers is those people are coming to your Instagram feed and they're making a judgment in 30 to 60 seconds whether the content you're releasing into the world fits for them. And that's fine. You want to attract the right people and repel the wrong. But hopefully your Instagram feed is doing the heavy lifting of telling them who you are quickly. So you want it to tell those 5-10 components of what your business is in those top 9 photos, because they might not even scroll down. They're only going to see 6 to 9 photos immediately. So you want it to kind of showcase who you are, what you do, what they're going to regularly see, and then kind of a killer bio. And if you're looking for bio inspiration, go see what's working in your industry. I go look around all the time and change mine and see like, oh, I like that. That's cute. Or, that's a really great way to phrase what I do without saying exactly that I'm a Beachbody coach. And I could include like a few of my other favorite things in there. And I love how this coach is doing it. So kind of study and have a killer feed that especially tell your brand story in those top 9 photos and in your bio, so that when new people get there, they know who you are and what you do. Another thing that might make it easier for you guys, and we do a great job of this over on Christina's feed, is having Linktree in your bio. So really giving yourself room to not have to change the link in your Instagram bio every day. That's the worst. And you want to make this as easy as possible for yourself so you don't quit. So Linktree's free. It's very easy to set up, and you can add like your coaching application, your latest challenge group, all your links in one space, so that in every caption, every Instagram story, you have a call to action. Are you looking to join a team of, there's 52 of you here right now. Are you looking to join a team that rallies around each other and is going to support you in your fitness coaching journey? Are you looking for, an outlet to, live your fitness dreams and get to coach women in the process? However you want to say it, but always drive them. If so, comment below or go straight to my link in bio. If so, if you want to join my challenge group, go straight to my link in bio, and you're always reminding them that all of your links are right there, every single post. And same for Instagram stories, y'all. That is the hidden gem, because not many people are brave enough to use it right now. And I'm the Instagram girl, and I'm like alive and perky right here, but I was stressed and awkward my first month on stories. So it's okay if you are too. It gets better after about a month of just doing it. I promise it gets better. I know you guys have to put yourself out there all the time anyway, so it's nothing new, but I promise, just know, like that first time you get on, it gets better. Instagram stories is a really, really great tool to leverage right now. Everything is saying that Facebook, Instagram, all the platforms are moving to video. And the great thing you do get to do with video is build connection and personality. Some of my posts sometimes can look like I have the personality of a cardboard box, but that doesn't get missed in an Instagram story, because I get to really come through with who I am And people are bombarded with sales every single day. They say it takes like 11 times of seeing something to actually convert now because we see so much. And so what might set you apart from the next coach or, the industries that are coming in and stealing Beachbody coaches, what might set you apart is your personality and your story. And so someone might join your team because they actually relate with you and they say, that girl's real. That girl's walked through what I've walked through. That girl gets me. And so Instagram stories is a great space to be able to do that. A tool I love is Command, and it allows you, and I think there's other ones, so you could Google it. Command's like $10 one time. And it will allow you to film your story in one segment. So say it's 3 minutes long, and then it'll chop it into 15 seconds, which is great. So you don't have to start, stop. And it'll just let you flow in one stream of thought, and then it'll let you cut it up and post it in order. It's very simple, and it just makes that process a little bit easier. But if you notice, you see the same people in that top nav bar every single day, and it's because they're the only ones using it. I'm sure it is picking up on your algorithms of who you're actually watching as well, but think about how many people you know and follow that you never see on stories. And so a small fraction of Instagram users are using that right now. So it's a really great time for you to get in, utilize it, be consistent, and Instagram's going to populate that you're a regular user there and show that to your followers. I get about triple the views on an Instagram story than I do on a regular post because because the algorithms. And so Instagram is always changing algorithms. It's really hard to work around. It is what it is. But where some of my posts used to have 1,500, now on a good day it's 500. But I can have 1,800 on an Instagram story easily. And so that's something, a tool y'all are really going to love. You're expanding your reach. You're building connection with your why. You get to show why you do what you do, who you are. And just like your Instagram feeds, you could just have a topic for every day of the week.
Lay
down. So yeah, you could just like create a content calendar. On Mondays, I'll talk about my challenge group. On Tuesdays, I'll talk about why I love working from home. On Wednesdays, I'll talk about, rallying with 53 women every single week. And I'm on this team of incredible women that all empower one another. One thing that I have experienced starting a network marketing company this year, I've started with Beauty Counter, and it's not often that you see a team with the kind of resources you guys have. So I would sell that. I mean, I have friends that are fitness minded, like me. Maybe I'll sign up under one of y'all one day. But I have friends that are fitness minded, and I work with tons of Beachbody coaches. One of my best friends is a Beachbody coach, but I direct my friends to y'all's team because what you guys provide is huge. The resources you provide to women is unprecedented. So sell that. Say, we have calls with Autumn. We have, Instagram resources. We have all the things that are going to set you apart when you're building your team. And so maybe one day a week, pop on Instagram stories and talk about why your team's different, why, your fitness. I don't know exactly how you'd phrase it, so y'all have to work that out because it's, you don't want to say Beachbody, but why your fitness program and the team you've built with it is set apart. And so I would really play to that strength because if I were signing up, I'd want to be on your team. I think what you guys have access to is pretty incredible. So yeah, telling your brand story and really using Instagram stories to showcase your why is going to set you apart in a big way. It might not pay off the first month, but it will pay off. It's going to, the algorithm's going to pick you up and put you in that top feed of your followers, and your stories will get seen more than your Instagram posts. It's still important to curate a beautiful feed because Instagram is visually driven. So another thing we've chatted about is, I know a lot of you have built your business through Facebook, but if you're sharing what you share from Facebook to Instagram, I'd actually reverse that. I would put your efforts into curating a beautiful Instagram feed and just share that to Facebook, because you can have the same content, but Instagram does matter on how visually driven it is. People, are on that platform for visual appeal. So more important, I mean, your captions are very important, but people are looking at your picture first. When they're coming to your feed and judging whether it's the right fit for them, because they see people every single day, they see new people. When they're coming to your feed, your visuals should tell a brand story. There is some software called If This Then That. It's like ifttt.com, and we're putting together some resources so y'all have this all in one place. But ifthisthenthat.com allows you to set up a certain hashtag on your posts, and it will share automatically from Instagram to Facebook or Instagram to Twitter or even Instagram to Dropbox if you want to archive it somewhere. And that's great. That can allow you to post to one space and then it automatically shares to another without you even having to push it through. You don't have to do share to Facebook. It will just do it for you with a certain hashtag. So like Team Equip or whatever your team names are for each of you. And so I really like that software because it is one less thing to do. And again, I would curate for Instagram and then just share to Facebook, because people will love a beautiful photo on Facebook, but they actually care on Instagram. If you don't feel equipped to take a beautiful picture, my best suggestion, and I know we're on a variety, in a variety of seasons on this team, and so I'll give you kind of some tips across the board. One thing I've loved to do, and that even when I was just starting out, it was just such a priority to me, is I traded for photography. But if you have the budget, like find a college girl who will charge you $100 a month to come over, take pictures at your laptop, take pictures drinking coffee, take pictures, staged working out with you and your kids, that kind of thing. That is a huge help for content, because then you're not hung up on something that looks nice and paralyzed by perfection. And I get it. I can curate a feed for the best of them, but I'll spend 10 hours on my own. And so I totally understand that it's stressful. And having a photographer come over, and if you can negotiate, an affordable price, it's so worth it. Maybe you have a ton of extra Shakeology laying around and they're fitness minded and you give them that every month. Whatever it is, if you don't have money, think of incentives of how you could trade with someone. I traded with people for probably a year and a half of blogging and creating content. And so, do what you do to find a photographer. If you really just can't swing that right now, some software I love is VSCO, VSCO. I am not a huge fan of using Instagram filters. They're very extreme and they are a little bit dated. And so if anything, I like to pull up the brightness maybe with Instagram's filter, with Instagram's tools. But that's about it. I like to actually edit in VSCO, and that is a great tool to be able to pick a filter that's the same across the board. I say definitely bring it down. Do not put that filter on at 100% because it looks just like a lot. The key would be to take photos in natural light. That might mean like your workout spot is in your basement, but you stage some photos every month in your living room where there's some natural light. That's going to make a world of difference. I was talking with Lindsay this morning, and there are spots in the same room that the light hits me in a certain way that I just look way better than, in another part of the room. So kind of get near a window where light's coming in and it hits you. Like I'll take my iPhone and just twirl around until I get my best light. It really will transform the quality of photos you're putting into your feed by simply taking photos, not direct. Like, so you know, when you're outside and you're like squinting because the sun's directly in your face. But if you can find some like natural light, or if you are outside taking a photo on a shaded day versus a glaring bright day, is going to make a world of difference. And then pulling them in VSCO Cam, editing them a little bit, you know, pulling up the brightness. You could sharpen it. You can add some contrast, but we're going to be creating some screen flows for you guys to really be able to utilize some editing software to make your feed more beautiful. But my top tips there are absolutely editing outside of Instagram, using VSCO Cam. A color story is great, but I find it a little complex. It's beautiful. It's got some really cool features, but I definitely love VSCO Cam. And natural light. I have people ask me all the time about certain coaches of like, are they shooting with a professional camera? And some of the times, like some of my favorite feeds, the answer is no. I know that person and they're not shooting with a professional camera. All they've done is probably gotten on YouTube, watched some iPhone shooting tutorials on YouTube for free and shot in natural light. That is going to totally change what you're able to create. And some software I love to use is Planoly. That is, it's where you can drag and drop your photos, and it's free. It's great. And you can drag and drop and be like, okay, that's too many of myself in a row. Or, you know, I really got off on my color scheme that I decided for my Instagram feed. And it's starting to look a little moody, and my photos were like bright and airy, you know. So kind of decide a theme for the colors of your photos and mostly stick to it. And I like to say your feed is the polished side of your brand, where you do have a theme. It's a color scheme. It is visually pleasing. You might do a quote every 6 photos or something like that. And then your stories are the connection side. So say you're out with friends and you want to take a shot, and you're like, man, I don't want to be the jerk who only posts about myself and never has friends. But put them in your stories, because like that dark, low lit room might look awful in your feed. And that is a sacrifice you make when using this as a tool for your business, because it's a tool. It's not your identity. You have real friends in real life. And so it's a great space your feed gets to be polished. Your stories get to be unpolished. That's a really nice feature that we've just gotten this year. You know, I'm really loving stories for that reason. So I think I'm going to look at my list of things to chat about, but I definitely can kind of provide in the chat like all the links to the software I was chatting about. Again, we're putting together some stuff, and ask away on questions and I can answer.
We have a bunch of questions. So the first one, should Instagram captions be short and to the point, or is long okay?
I think long's okay. I see some of my best coaches having really long captions. And I think when you're creating an audience that loves you because you've really found them on Instagram, and it might take a while, they will read through that long caption. Now, I try to do, if we're doing long captions, I try to do like long, short, so that it's not every single day. So like it might be long and heartfelt the next day, and then the day after that, it's like, I love my girl gang, you know, something simple and easy. So I think as long as you're finding your people, now if they're not your people, they don't care to read your caption. So take the time to find your people on Instagram. This has taken me months sometimes. I will go through seasons of being like, wow, the people following me right now don't care what I'm putting into the world. So I need to reassess. And so that happens to all of us. You just hit reset.
All right. Does Insta Live get pushed to people who are not following you like Facebook Live does, based on location, mutual friends, etc.?
I'm not, this is bad, but I'm not fully aware, but I am starting to see people I don't follow, not just in the top nav bar, but you know, when you're scrolling through your feed and you see like 4 rectangles, like they're a little bit longer, but there's like 4 all together. They're not as big as a post. I think some of that does include strangers, because if I remember correctly, I think I've seen people that way. So I would definitely, if Facebook's doing it, I'd say Instagram will do it because Facebook owns Instagram.
Okay. Should we be posting the exact same photos and captions on Facebook and Instagram, or should our Instagram feed look totally different from our Facebook?
I think it can mostly, unless you have only your friends on Facebook and only your friends on Instagram, I think it can absolutely be different because you can so strategically target on Instagram that you're going to be pulling in strangers that you don't pull in from Facebook. So I look at them as different audiences. And even in my Facebook group, half of those people in there don't even follow me on Instagram. So it's like you're touching their touch points all over across all these social media channels, and it's rare that they cross pollinate.
Okay. Since I work out when it's usually dark outside, can that software help create the essence of natural light? I think she's talking about.
Not really. So I would suggest, like, it's totally cool that you work out at night. I would put that in your stories, and then once a month, pop up your iPhone, change your leggings 5 times, and stage some photos of you working out in your house in some natural light on a Saturday. It will change the game, but I think it's still totally valid to, film yourself, doing the time lapses on Instagram stories. I have a friend who does that, and she almost always gets asked, what are you doing? What workout are you doing? And she does a lot of time lapses of her working out on her stories. That does not have to be perfectly visually pleasing. She has her daughter in it a lot, which is like, whoa, you're working out with your baby and you squeeze it into 20 minutes a day. Tell me what you're doing. She has conversations she has probably 15,000 followers, which is like a fourth of what I have, and gets way more DMs a day than I do. So it's because she actually uses her stories more. And so I would definitely put your, workouts to Beachbody On Demand there as
well. Okay. Does Visco Cam cost?
No, it's not. Not that I know. There might be some new like community-based software from the last thing I saw, but just the editing software should be free. I would definitely double check me on that, but I use it, and I don't think I'm just grandfathered in. I'm pretty sure it's free.
Okay. Number of fees posts per day based on algorithm. I'm not sure I understand that question. Kaylee, if you're there, can you explain?
It was feed. I tried to correct it. The typo below. Number of times on your main feed, not the stories, but the feed.
Yes, I say 1 to 2 tops. I'm a 1 girl. Now I know Shailene teaches 5, but only Shailene can do that and not be annoying. She's amazing and basically God's gift to green earth in the Beachbody world, but most people would be extremely annoying and unfollowed if they did that. And so I do not suggest that tactic. She has a lot of incredible business tips. Do not post 5 times. And that's just too much pressure. You're going to quit. You've got to set your systems up for Instagram to do this with longevity. So even if that means you only post once every other day, that is better than nothing. And so I'm a once a day girl on a good day. Some days I skip. And so I say 2 tops. I, sometimes have people who will do 1, 2, 1, 2. But I think 1 is plenty. If you are a business account, it will tell you your stats of your best times to post. If you're not and you don't want to be a business account, I just say morning or evening. Both are great. People are scrolling before work and after work, and it's not even, it's not even in chronological time order anymore. So it's okay. But I definitely suggest morning or evening. I will say, while I'm on this train of thought, people have very polarizing views on business accounts. If you want that swipe up feature and you have 10,000 followers, you have to be a business account. If you don't have 10,000 followers, it might be in your best interest to not be a business account because it does lower your engagement a little bit, is what I've heard. And just like Facebook did with Facebook pages 5 years ago. It was easy to grow a Facebook page, and now you have to pay through the roof, and they monitor, like they don't do that with personal pages, but they do it with business. So that could be the direction Instagram is moving in, but then also the swipe up feature is worth it to me. So it's kind of a personal decision, but Facebook does own Instagram. So all the problems you see on Facebook getting your posts seen, I am certain that will happen in the next few years with Instagram.
All right. The next question everybody wants to know, how do you find your audience? Do you suggest hashtag groups for each facet of the business? Do you search them out through hashtag? Do you like and comment on their photos?
Yes, you can like and comment. So last question, you can like and comment on your photo. There are other ways to grow. I know a lot of you do not have 10 hours to like and comment on photos for the whole day to really gain a following. You are welcome to do that, or hire a virtual assistant to do that. That works. It does work. But man, I mean, your time is money. So you've got to see where you want to put your time each day. And you might not want to have, hours of commenting and liking. It works, but there are other strategies out there. Hashtags are great. I definitely suggest that as a strategy. I definitely suggest changing your hashtags every single post. So like I'll have like a set of 2 to 4 sets that I'll change out. People are starting to say that Instagram picks up on using the exact same hashtags and actually shadow bans you. And so I wouldn't use the exact same set, but you could even have just 2 and alternate them. And so you're doing like a businessy post, do a business set of hashtags. You're doing, because then you're going to draw in other people who use business hashtags who might say, ooh, I love fitness. I want to start a business like theirs. Or vice versa, you could use like a fitness set of hashtags. So I have a hashtag quiz. I say take it like 4 or 5 times. Get the mom set, get the business set, get the Insta friend, like community over competition set, get the fitness set, and just alternate them. I have a quiz for you. I've literally gone through every single hashtag to make sure there's not, strippers on there. But because some of the fitness ones can be sketchy. But also another way to kind of go down the rabbit hole of finding new hashtags is go to the search on Instagram and search, fitness or something. And it will suggest hashtags at the top of the nav bar, and I start clicking them. And I look at the quality of people who are posts and the quality of posts in those attached to that hashtag. So if it has like porn or weird men living in their mother's basement, like that's not your audience, But if it has like everyday girls next door, that's your audience. You can kind of see from the quality of post attached to a hashtag if that's an appropriate hashtag for you. And again, don't write off hashtags like the motherhood series, because you never know if like moms are looking for, some income. They're already staying home with their kids, but they want some extra cash and don't want to go back to work. They might be perfect for your team, so definitely don't, write off the non-fitness or non-business hashtags, because you actually might have your everyday girl next door who use, hashtags like joy in the ordinary or magical moments or whatever. But I would definitely just kind of, again, I have the quiz, and then you could search a hashtag and you'll see the other suggested hashtags similar to that. And I'll just click one, look at it. I'll click the next set of suggested, and I can go down a rabbit hole of looking at that for hours. Another great way to find hashtags is to look at what your competitors in one of the facets of your business are doing. And so you can kind of see either in their caption or in the first comment, the hashtags they're using. Maybe you don't like every single one of them, but you like a good, 25% of them, and pull those. One last thing on hashtags. Don't do generic hashtags like love or spirituality. You need to have more niche. I have a friend coming to pick up a dog, so y'all might hear him. One thing you might have one thing you might see your competitors doing, and I always try to change this if I have a new client doing this, is they might have like spirituality or love or faith, and those attract like way too broad of an audience. You're not going to find your girl with those, because there's like one post going live every 0.2 seconds, and it's just too much. Your post is never going to get seen in there. So that's another thing with hashtags, of no generic hashtags. And you definitely want to have, you want to kind of look through the feed. Like if I'm like, ooh, this is my hashtag, I'll open up the post and see how far they are spaced apart. If they're like seconds apart, your post will drop to the bottom of that list so quickly. If they have like 10 to 50,000 posts attached to it, that's fine. If they have 2 million, skip it. It's just too big. You're going to get lost. It's better. You only have 30 hashtags per post. It's better to use it on a smaller, more niche audience where you're more likely of actually getting seen there.
Okay, so then they asked, the next question was, should you have 2 different accounts for friends and Beachbody, or just do it all in one?
I say that's just personal preference. People do like to see your personal life. Like it's not unprofessional to weave your life into your feed. Although I think that's why a lot of people do like to separate. Because they feel like, oh, I can't post too much of that, like no one cares. But actually people really value connectedness, because everyone's selling something now. So it is nice to see like you with your girlfriends or you with your kids. People really care about that. I will just say separate them if you want to have a place to just post whatever the heck you want whenever you want. So, the photo in the bad lighting, but totally non-relevant riff of your thoughts just off the top of your head. Yeah, have 2 accounts. I lean towards one mostly because of burnout. So I've had multiple accounts before, and I have a Radiant podcast account that I never post on. And so it's like, man, if I have an account with 20,000 followers that I can't seem to post on, golly, that's such a loss. It's such a waste. I'm going to get there. But I mean, how much more are you going to do with a feed that's literally just your friend? I'm a fan of weaving it in, unless you totally have like the energy of God within and can do 2.
And then I think she already said the tools for finding hashtags.
Yes. Where would be the best? I feel like they'll get lost here. So do you want me to put them somewhere for you guys, or?
You can message me and we'll get the message out.
Fabulous. I'll do that. I'll just put it all in one list.
And then any tips on anything not to do?
Ooh. Okay. Does anyone have a suggestion? It will prompt me. Don't be that girl that messages every old friend from 5 years ago and is like, hey girl, I've been thinking about you, and you haven't. Like, show interest in the people who care about what you're doing. I have a girl who look at me like I'm a cash cow, and I'm like, I just told you I sell beauty counter. I don't want Arbonne, like I am not joining your team because I have 50,000 followers. I'm not a cash cow. I'm a human being. So don't do that. Really focus. If you are going to DM your new followers, like be genuine. Say, find something from like 6 posts ago and read the caption and pull a tiny tidbit out and say something about that. I love that you were with your girls at the park the other day. I'm really trying to implement that more in my life with my girls. Whatever, something that sounds remotely genuine but only takes you like 15 extra seconds. I know it can be really draining to DM every single follower. And if you want to do that, that's totally cool. My thought is have a brand story in your feed that does the heavy lifting for you. So you put your energy into curating beautiful photos and amazing calls to action on every single post, and then they feel compelled because you're attracting the right people, and they fill out that form, and then you DM them or they DM you. My thought is put all your energy there. And if you're wasting too much time on your captions, outsource it. am the Instagram girl and have a girlfriend coming over tomorrow to curate my Instagram captions because I can do it for other people, but I'll spend 10 hours on my own. So your time is money, put it in the right places.
Okay, so I guess that answers the how do you choose whether to DM people or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I'm not totally against it. Just be genuine and real. And, you know, people hate to feel like they're just someone's money pit. And I mean, now that I have my own, you know, now that I am participating in an MLM, I'm really passionate about like, how can we do this better? Because I think people are making bad names for our industry. And I do think we're going to start seeing more and more companies move towards this structure. So how are we going to make it, you know, make a good name for it so people want to join our teams? That's why I send people to y'all's team. And so I think DMing is fine. Just be genuine. Do not do the autoresponder on DMs because I delete them. People in my groups tell me they delete them. Just maybe go through if you are going to go that route, if you have the energy for it, maybe, you know, just pick one day of the week, go through your new followers and pick something out special about that. I even do that with my Facebook group. I'll have a post with like 75 posts and it's exhausting. I think I'm going to outsource it. So if you need to do that for your DMs, but I go to every single one of their profiles and leave a thoughtful response because I feel like people can smell like non-genuine blanket statements a mile away now. And it actually repels them when you want to attract them to your team.
All right. How do you record your IG story without holding the record button?
Hands-free. It's awesome. And I didn't even know this till last week. So, you know, so if you,
so you can hold it down. Do you know if you can, you know that if you hold it down, it does a countdown, 3, 2, 1. So you can hold it down, hands-free, like press hold.
Uh-huh.
And then you can go to, you know, whatever you're doing. If you want to like go do a workout move and you're like, okay, it will literally count down and then it'll start recording.
Yes. And you guys can use some software like InShot and add some music to it. I mean, it's really fun. I'll link that up for you guys too. But I love stories. And again, yes, you can do the hands-free thing. You can then create a time lapse with it. I mean, there are so many fun things you can do with stories. I am a big fan. How many times should you do stories? I will give you guys an example of someone who is not a Beachbody instructor, but I had her do a segment on stories in my Facebook group. Griffin McKenzie on Instagram. I'll just put it here. She does like 1 million stories a day, but people are so connected to her, and she just does another topic, adds it to the end, does another topic, adds to the end. I mean, and people feel so connected to her. I mean, she signed up under me with Beauty Counter and has sold so much more than me with a fraction of the followers. I mean, it's because she's engaging and people really, really trust her. She spent, you know, years talking about her passion and care for health and, you know, clean living. And so the second she started talking about this, it was so true to what she talked about that people were like, yep, I trust you, I'm on it. So maybe don't always only talk about Beachbody. Talk about, you know, your journey healing your gut, or, you know, talk about how you've cut dairy and you're feeling 1,000 times better. Like just random little tidbits that you're not selling them something else. So it's not a conflict of interest. It's not you pushing more product and it gets way oversaturated, but you're just letting them in on like you're becoming a voice that they trust in their life for their health and fitness regimen. And man, it works.
Hashtags in the captions or in the comments?
I'd say comments, just because it doesn't clutter up your caption and make it even longer. And then especially if you're doing a longer caption anyways, you only have a certain character count. And so you're going to have to cut down your lines of thought anyway. So put that in the first comment and it will collapse. I've only had one person say they've heard that's a no-no, but I searched around on Google and didn't see anything. Sometimes if you hear something, a great way to kind of research the validity of it is Google it and then hit news. And I'll see if there are any recent articles on that topic. And I saw none on the comments being a no-no. And so I say put it there. It will collapse. I'll go ahead and skip down to Amanda where she says, is 30 necessary? No, it's totally not, but you are maximizing your reach. If that's one of the only ways you are growing your following, then yeah, go ahead and use it up. And you don't have to you don't have to search that many every single day. I would just go to your notepad and put, sets of your business set, your fitness set, your clean living set, whatever. And I just go over copy, paste in the first comment. And then if you use like a scheduling platform like Grum, then that will be, if you use a scheduling platform, you can schedule the first comment, and same for Planoly. So both are great. And later, yeah, so you can do that with later as well. So I'm a fan of using as many as you have. But you'll start seeing that in my post tomorrow when I have someone else doing it for me. It's not there today. So this is what I really believe. I'm not always great at practicing it because the cobbler's kids have no shoes.
How would you recommend we structured the bio? It's such a small space, but it's the first thing I read when I start to follow people.
Me too. So I might have like, a little bit about you and then space down. And I'll tell you guys, you can edit your bio a little bit better with more spaces if you actually do it from a desktop. And so if you want to add like the little symbols in, or if you want to like space it a little bit differently, it will help you do that better from your desktop. And that's kind of preference. So I'd have some, details about you that, are true to who you are. And then maybe like, you could even have like a compelling caption of like links to my freebies, which your team has amazing freebies, stuff like that. Or want to know more about what I do with like some arrows, and it's got your link tree with all the things you offer. And so something that's like catchy that gets people to click your link right there. That's going to be something I actually change on mine this week of like, want my freebies, and it'll have it right there so that a new person is kind of like, oh yeah, I do.
You just gave me an idea.
Ooh.
Any other questions?
I heard you can get into IG jail if you use music in your videos. Is that true? Here's what I've heard, or here's what I know about that is I know that there's like sometimes if it's a video that's recorded, it works, or if you like record, I don't know. I don't know like the full differentiator. So I'll just research that and add a link to some articles in there. I've been doing it when I'll just like pull up a song off YouTube and I'll record it in InShot, but it's not like something that I'm not getting, here's what I know is different. I've run some Beachbody accounts that their video will get removed for some reason or another. And what I'm seeing when I like add music via InShot, just recorded from my phone, if it feels like in live time, like it's just in the background, they don't pull it down. But I know what you guys mean because I've seen videos removed from Instagram. So I'm going to research the difference there because there's got to be something. I'm writing it down. Any other question? Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking. If it's in a stories, InShot, actually, I'll record it to like a graphic too. But I'm wondering if you're starting to see that become more normal. So it's just like part of how Instagram is now, where there's a lot more music in the stories, whereas it was very like prohibited or very much more monitored, a year ago. I'm not fully sure, but Facebook does own Instagram. So Sean has a point.
I use music in my IG stories and I don't have issues, but I've heard it's the posting that's the issue. So
That could have been it. That could have been the
you're
difference.
able to, like I was just this morning I was doing it, and I love that you guys, if you love computers, I love you can go to instagram.com and you can actually watch stories from the computer now if you're sitting down. That was pretty cool. I saw that today. I was like, oh, I can watch them from here. You just can't DM from the computer unless you use an app, right?
Right. And I think you could use like Iconosquare, or, you know, another thing you guys might love is an app called Websta.me. We'll link this up too. And that allows you to segment your list, kind of like TweetDeck back in the day, or I don't know if Hootsuite allowed you to do that with Twitter, but I do believe that sorry, I lost my train of thought reading something. But it allows you to segment your list. So you can say, oh, these are people that are really warm leads. They have DM'd me. They've asked me about my business. I'm going to stay in their peripherals. Every Monday, I'm going to just leave a comment on their photo. It's not salesy. It's just like, love what you're doing. It's just staying in their peripherals. And then, you know, then you might have a segmented list to see your best friend and her baby, because you actually never see their posts anymore. And so Webster is just a great way to segment, you know, warm leads, you know, kind of colder leads that you want to, you know, think would be your girl on your team, and then, you know, actually your friends. And that's just nice software to have. Maybe if you give credit to the artist, unless you like tag them, you know, it's hard to kind of give credit on the stories or actually verbally say like, thanks Shakira for this awesome song. So far so good with music on stories for me. And I haven't seen like any of my clients lately on stories be banned. I think what was happening was the actual posts. Curiosity marketing. Okay, can you guys tell me a little more? Can you explain that language?
What they're saying is, if you were to take, let's say, a mason jar, and you were to put a Shakeology in there, like you made it pretty, and you got that pretty staged photo, and you started to talk about, you know, the photo without explaining exactly what it is, and they're like, what is that? Or Shalene always explains it like, take a photo and you're talking about something in the photo, and they look at, and it's you, and they're like, where did you get those leggings? Like they don't cheer, you know what I'm saying? Like they're curious about something in the photo, but you're not actually specifically saying, come over here, look at this. Does that make sense?
Yes. So like, you know, have like, I think one of Christina's posts lately was like a goal setting post, but her Shakeology was in it. And like, just like weaving that in when they start seeing like, she's drinking this green berry drink every week. What is that? You know, or when you talk about you cut caffeine, but you have this shake in a lot of your photos, and you're a fitness influencer, they're going to be curious, you know, what is that? Like, I follow this girl because she tells me all my fitness tips. She probably has a good recommendation for a drink. And so, yes, curiosity marketing is really great. One of my friends, Caroline, who, you know, has an Instagram account, was just telling me that she gets a lot of DMs by just being really careful to not give away the groceries. Don't give away the whole store in a post. And then they DM you. And that's a great way for, again, your feed is doing the heavy lifting for you. You're not wasting energy on people who don't care. They're curious. They're eager to have your input when they've DM'd you about the drink they've seen 10 times in your feed.
You can do it with stories as well.
Yes. Yeah. Stories, like like worked out with my baby this morning. I'm loving the, you know, fun vibes of this new themed workout or whatever, you know, and then you DM you and are like, what's that? Tell me about it.
Any other questions? Going once, going twice. All right. We are right at the hour, so we're going to let Kelsey go. Thank you so much for doing this for us. If you guys want, we can link you to her group. I think you just changed the name to Radiant something.
Radiant Business Babes. I might change. But everything of mine is radiant. So, but yes, yeah, y'all come follow along and join us there. We'll have a lot more free trainings in the new year. And then stay tuned because I think y'all have got some cool team stuff coming your way.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye, guys.